Today we're going to talk about combining like terms. A like term are terms whose variables and exponents are the same. In other words, terms that are like each other. So for example, 7x, x, and negative 2x, you notice they all have the variable x, and all of their exponents are 1. So are all like terms because the variables are all x. 7y, xy, and negative 2z are all not like terms because none of the variables are the same. Okay, in the next example, 1/3 xy squared, negative 2xy squared, 4y squared x. You can take these, and it's the commutative property of multiplication, and just switch them around. So you have 4xy squared. So you notice these are all like terms because they are all have the variables and exponents that are the same. They all have an x, they all have a y, and all of their y's are squared. So are all like terms because the variables and the variables exponents are the same. Looking at the following problem, 1/3 x squared, y squared, negative x, y squared, and 4x squared. So although they have parts and pieces of each other, they are not exactly the same. So these are not like terms. So let's go through at the table below and find all of the like terms. So for example, all of the terms with a variable x. So here I have negative x. Going through them, negative 8x and 6x. Then you go through and find all the terms with x squared as only x squared as their variable, all the terms with only xy, all the terms with only z, and then all of the constants, so numbers without a variable attached to it. So pause the video and fill in the chart. Check your answers with the following problems. If you have any questions, ask your teacher. Turn to the next page. Now let's talk about combining like terms. So you can add like terms together to make one term. So in this example, 7x plus 2x plus 4x. Since they are all like terms, they all have an x for a variable. So you can make it one term and say 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 4 is 13, and then don't forget they have a like term of x, so it would be 13x. In example 2, negative 7x plus 2x plus 4x. They're all like terms, but you can just combine them. Make sure you follow your integer rules. So negative 7 plus 2 is negative 5x plus 4x, and that's going to give you a final answer of negative 1x, which you can also just write as negative x. This is what you're going to see in your future classes. Example 3, 7x plus 4 minus 2x. The terms that are like terms can be combined. Follow your integer rules. So I can combine 7x minus 2x, but my plus 4 is going to just remain a plus 4. So 7 minus 2 is 5, like term of 5x, plus 4. You cannot combine the 5 and the 4 because they do not both have a variable of x. Let's try a few examples. We're going to do the odds together. 2x plus 16 plus x. I'm going to go through and circle my like terms. I'm also going to make sure to include the sign in front of it. So I'm going to combine 2x plus x to give me 3x and bring down my plus 16. My like terms in number 3 are a negative 7y and a negative 16y. These are both negative, so same signs, you add, keep the sign. So I'm going to have negative 23y and bring down my plus 5. An important rule that you'll need to know when simplifying your expressions and your equations: your variables need to come first. So for example, in number 1, I have 3x plus 16. Okay, so my term with the variable is in front of my plus 16. Negative 23y plus 5. My variable, my term with the variable goes first. My constant always goes last. If you have multiple variables, let's say I had an x and a y in one expression, you want to put them in ABC order. Okay, so in number 5, my like terms, all my y's, I have a positive 5, a negative 4y, and a positive 2y, and then my 3 and negative 8. So when I look at this, my negative 8x is going to go first because x comes before y. And then when I combine these three, I get 5 minus 4, which is 1y. 1y plus 2y is 3y. And then my constant of a positive 3. So that'll be plus 3. Okay, pause the video and try the even problems. Check your answers with the following problems. If circles and maybe squares don't work for you, it covers up the symbols and the signs. Try using a highlighter if that helps.